Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alice. We talk about books, we do some lifestyle content vlogs, although that hasn't been for a while. It will be coming back. So if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background whilst you make yourself a meal, clean your room, do that thing you've been putting off for the longest time, we just want someone to listen to, then I'm your gal. So consider hitting that subscribe button. Come on in, welcome. It is free and you can unsubscribe at any time. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. Let's get on with today's video. As always, we have to talk about the hair in some way. This is actually the day of washing. My hair is very naturally curly. If you didn't know that, now you do. Please excuse the wildness. I don't know why I'm sitting so far away today. It feels like that kind of vibe. Today we're going to be talking about Halloween party. Yes, we made it to the end. Happy Halloween, everybody. It is Halloween when you're watching this today. And honestly, I literally just finished this book. We're ready to talk about it. This actually means we've come to the end of our October read. Now, I know we did DNF one of them, but we did read the other three, and I'm very, very proud of myself for doing that. So, pat on the back. Anyway, so we're moving on. We need to decide what we're going to read next. Let me know in the comments down below. I think I need to get onto my non-negotiable. What do you think? Otherwise I won't be allowed to buy any books next year. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Now, I'm not the biggest Halloween person. I don't mind it. I've just never really celebrated it. But I feel like I'd like to do some more things for it. So, you know, we're gonna actively try. We're gonna go for it. This year, I don't actually have any plans, but I think I might watch Hocus Pocus for the first time, which I think will be fun because why not, eh? Why not? But I did also read this book, so let's talk about it. This is Halloween Party by Agatha Christie, and it was made into a film. But there's actually a little foreword at the start where basically this guy's like, yeah, I changed it around a bit and made it different, and I'm sorry to Agatha Christie fans. So I guess they're different. If you've seen the film, maybe give the book a go, but maybe you want to listen to my review first. So let's get on with it. I gave this book a 6 out of 10, which I think might be a little bit high, but I don't know, I love the cover. I'll be honest, the cover really just does something to me. I don't know, it's just really pretty. I really like it. And I don't know, like, this is my first ever Agatha Christie book that I've ever read, so I kind of feel like there's some kind of allegiance to it in a way. I've wanted to read Agatha Christie for a really long time, but I've just never got around to it. This is the one that I've started on. Upon reflection, it might have not been the best one to start on, but also maybe it is because she definitely has written better books. A 6 out of 10, which makes this book a 3-star. Again, I'm not sure whether it should be slightly lower, but that's what we're going for, guys. All right, I think no higher than a 6, no higher than 3 stars. Obviously this book does not have any spice in it. It would be really weird if it had spice in it. As always, please always read the trigger warnings before reading any book. You know, we want happy and safe readers out there, and there are some intense things that happen in this book. So, you know, I think this is definitely a book that you should check the warnings for. I mean, it should always check the warnings, but specifically with this book as well. And if asked would I recommend this book, you know, genuinely, I haven't said this for a while, but I'm really not sure. I feel like I would to maybe someone in my situation who hadn't read Agatha Christie yet. It could be a good start, but I think whereas with me, it's made me feel, oh yeah, I'd like to read some more. I think that it could have the ability to make someone not want to read more. So I don't really know, to be honest with you. I think it's one of those that's like, if you're looking for an autumnal kind of book to read and you want to give a little bit of mystery, then this could be a good option for you. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I'm a little bit sad because I didn't bend it properly and I have messed up the spine a little bit, but it should be fine, right? You know, all books should be loved a bit, right? I don't know what that's going to do to help, absolutely nothing, but it's only one crease we made, so it wasn't too bad. Anyway, moving on. Shall we talk about the review? Let's bring in the trusty steed, the laptop with the dents. So today we're going to talk, I'm just joking, One day I will tell you about the dents, don't you worry, but today is not that day, alright? Naughty. You thought it was happening, didn't you? So let's talk about my review. So I said I enjoyed this book, however it was not as good as I expected when reading an Agatha Christie book. Maybe I put too many expectations on it, but it wasn't what I expected. I thought I was going to be like like that kind of thing, but I didn't really have that reaction with this book. It was definitely more predictable than I expected. You guys know I am a classic overthinker, so normally I do sort of guess the plot to these kinds of books. I would say I don't think I got it entirely, but I feel like I guessed who like the suspicious people were, and it was a little bit disappointing on that front, just a little bit. I did actually go on Goodreads and read some other reviews about this, and a lot of people said that this book was written in 1969, which is I think one of her later books, and also that it kind of felt like she was writing just to meet a deadline, kind of maybe she was feeling a bit tired of her characters. Like they did say that you shouldn't use this to reflect on her writing, so I definitely think reading that also helped me be like, yes, I'm definitely going to try another Agatha Christie. Do you know what? I think I'll look up, see which ones are like the highest rated ones, and then I will read them. Maybe I need to go for something more classic, but I'll see what is the most recommended Agatha Christie book, and then we can read it together. But first I have to read my non-negotiables, or I technically wouldn't be able to buy that book and read it. So I will definitely say I could tell the writing was different to the books that I read that are more modern. It has this like older air about it, this sort of all-knowing air, which I did really like and I did appreciate. It kind of had this way of making you feel really pulled into the book. It made you feel eager to read it, even though maybe you didn't always like what was going on in the book or in the pages, but I feel like the writing was so straight to the point. The descriptions were great because they were just exactly what it was that you were picturing. I feel like it never had this really like big inference thing. It never had you being like, oh, and that symbolizes that and that symbolizes that, because although it might have had it in there, I feel like it really just set everything up how it was supposed to. So I feel like that's obviously a testament to her writing. Some bits of the plot itself were actually quite grim, a little bit doom and gloomy. It was very intense, so I said you should read the trigger warnings, especially given that in this book I will say that children are involved and are actually victims in this book, so it is quite, I don't know, it's quite weird, I will put that out there, but I think it's different. It's definitely different. It was interesting to sort of watch the pieces come together, watch the story unravel. I did really like how that happened. I definitely wanted a little bit more in some places, a little bit more clarification on what had happened or why things had happened. I feel like sometimes they were a little bit just alluded to or brushed past. But again, I'm not sure if this is just because it was a bit above me or whether I just didn't get it in there. But I feel like there was a few times where certain things happened, and especially at the end, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realise that had happened. I will say that there were little moments like that which kind of made the reading experience feel a little bit disjointed in places, but on the whole it didn't happen too often, so it wasn't too bad. I did enjoy reading this book because it was something different, and I enjoyed the Halloween concept with the Halloween spooky, it being Halloween, and reading this I did like that. This book wasn't really that spooky, it was a bit more, I don't even know, I don't even have the descriptive words for it. It's very much unlike any other story I've read, so it's definitely an autumnal style book. As I said with the recommendations, this is probably what I would say, you know, it is nice to read this probably in the month of October, and I realise we are at the end of October, but I think it would be just as good in November or September, maybe even December as well. You know, why not? There were some small twists in here that definitely proved to me that Agatha Christie's writing is like, it can be there, if that makes sense. Like there were some bits that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that, like she just sprinkled that in, or that was a good thing to know. But like the main plot twists were quite predictable, which was a shame. But you know, obviously she is a very highly revered author. I know that she's got good stuff in there. I just think maybe this one wasn't her finest, wasn't her pinnacle, you know. I mean, it was still leaps and bounds better than other books I've read in terms of, you know, like it was definitely still had this air about it, but it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense. I definitely bought this book at 99% for its cover, but the final 1% was because it was written by Miss Agatha Christie. So, you know, I definitely enjoyed, I got what I wanted out of it. I got a pretty book cover, and I also got to read my first Agatha Christie book, which is great, but I definitely will delve into her literary fiction a bit more, you know. So we'll get there. I'm definitely looking forward actually to reading some of her maybe better works. Because the thing is with me is that although it does let me down if you guess a plot twist, I don't mind it so much if the plot twist is still pretty good. Like for example, the reasoning and the subtle twists in here were still good, but they just were slightly too predictable for me and slightly too okay, like I didn't have like a oh yeah, or even before when I've read some books, I can't think of a concrete example, but when you read a book you kind of go, oh, this person's suspicious or whatever, but you get to the end, the plot twist involves this person, but something comes up and you still have this kind of like, oh, but that's really clever though. Even though you might have guessed it, it's still clever, and you know that other people reading it might have not guessed it as well. I feel like if I'd had more of that feeling, I definitely would have rated this book higher, but because it was a little bit more of a that was more how I reacted, so it's a shame, but I did enjoy this book and it did get a 3 stars. So if you have time or you have this on your shelf, go read it this year. Obviously please check the trigger warnings, but if not, don't rush to go buy it. That would be my advice. Don't go out and actively get it, but if you've got it on your shelf right now or someone lends you a copy and you fancy giving it a read, go for it. Even if it's on sale, maybe get it if it's on sale with this cover, but I wouldn't say rush to go get it. Well, I think that's everything we've got for today. We're talking about a little bit of spooky time, Halloween party, scary. What did you do for Halloween this year? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you dress up? Did you go trick-or-treating? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye. Spooky. 75 hard, baby.